What is going on with all of my people of the planet? I am D Venom along with Feathered Friends. Thank you guys so much for joining us in regard to Raising Vibrations Podcast, aka Addiction, Relapse, and Recovery. I hope all of my people of the planet, especially my people of addiction, relapse, and recovery, are staying on that straight and narrow and doing everything possible to elude psychic vampires, negative energies including podbean trolls and scallywags, along with relapse from one's lives. We all should know by now that those particular elements only take away from our energies and our vibrations. If we could elude them at all costs, we have done our own selves some justice and a huge favor. With that being said, let's get into Raising Vibrations Podcast, aka Addiction, Relapse, and Recovery. Alright, all of my people of the world. As mentioned, I am D Venom along with Feathered Friends, and thank you guys so much for tuning into Raising Vibrations Podcast. It's been a minute since I reached out to you guys, and I do apologize. I've been really busy and productive in a positive way, and I couldn't ask for anything more. Anyway, do you guys recall when I first started out here on Podbean and how I was just relapsing and I was just always coming with sob stories, and I just really didn't have too much to talk about, even though I did. And I helped a couple of people along the way here on the platform, and a couple of people helped me in regard to strengthening me and giving me encouragement in regard to relapsing and falling up the straight and narrow and whatever else. And I'm thinking about my life now, and I have come a damn long way. And my people of addiction out there, there is no fucking way that y'all should still be walking around this earth as addicts, considering all of the resources and help that we have on our planet. There is no fucking way that people still should be addicts with all of these resources and all of this help that we have. Yes, I still attend my 12-step meetings. I still attend Recovia, and I am past 60 days clean. And I picked up my 60-day coin a couple of days ago. I believe it was on a Saturday night meeting, because I was that Friday I hit that 60-day mark. And I don't go to meetings on Fridays. They're not open. The meetings are Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays that I attend. So I knew the following day I would pick up my coin. And I'm going to post my coin because I'm proud of my 60-day plus mark. It's a milestone. And I'm not sure if I even given myself this long of a chance to be clean off of methamphetamine. Wonderful opportunities are coming my way. I'm starting to, reach abundance. Just things are just happening. And I told you guys, once I hit my recovery phase, this is where the magic is going to take place. And when I say the magic is happening, the magic is happening. Now, one reason, I'm not even sure the last episode that I left off with you guys. I knew that I was in a good position. I knew that I haven't relapsed or anything of that particular nature. But I can't recall that last episode that I left. I know that I left you guys a couple of hidden gems to work with, and I still have some more hidden gems to upload. But I am really in a good place right now. Now, I took a hiatus away from the platform here on Podbean to work on my other platforms. That's one reason why I haven't been, active here, in regard to, raising vibrations. I want to put energies into all my platforms, and I'm now a part of Facebook. And I will admit, just like a lot of other people within this world, I was not a huge Facebook fan in the beginning. For one, they ask for too much personal fucking information, and I don't too much care for that. And they can use that information if they just, so choose. That's a part of the, Facebook, protocol, I guess you could say. You use their platform, they can use your information against you if they want to. But, I'm not using it for sinister purposes. I'm using it to reach out to people in regard to addiction, relapse, and recovery, and, my platform here, Raising Vibrations. And it's actually working. Facebook has a lot of beneficial groups that I have now joined in regard to Narcotic Anonymous and Crystal Meth Anonymous. And, a lot of those rooms are, a lot of those rooms are local here to the Arizona area. And, I haven't joined Sex Anonymous yet, so I need to look them up on, Facebook as well. But, I posted in some of those rooms the fact that I'm 60 days clean, and the feedback that I got, from people from across the world, even people in India, not that that's a big, a big thing, but I get people that I speak with here on podcast, all the time, from India or whatever. But I was just shocked at the love and the feedback and the encouragement that I got. And, Facebook also has a lot of other different, positive things on their platform that I am starting to appreciate. I'm using it as a strategic tool. To be quite frank with you, I'm definitely using it to my advantage. The more followers I get on there, the more that I can steer people over here to, Podbean and, possibly get interviews and things like that. I'm still a part of this other platform that I haven't quite told anybody about. I told a handful of people, but this is a platform where I will be making money, and I haven't worked on that platform yet, considering I have so many things that I have going on. I'm seeing Recovia two days out of the week, 4 fucking hours a day. And I shouldn't say it like that because, they are helping me, and they see progress in me, and they see me going somewhere. And the fact that they are encouraging me and aspiring me to do better, I appreciate that. And the more that I stay positive and in alignment with the universe, the more that the universe brings forth people, places, and things that are going to benefit me in a damn good way, especially considering my new place of employment, which I will talk about here momentarily. People of addiction, especially my people that are still suffering in silence due to their addiction, there is no need to suffer in silence. I have my platform here. My arms are open. I can lead you to some meetings and whatever else. And the meetings that I go to, the ones that I primarily go to, they're not bad meetings, but they're, is gay dominated. And I need to branch out and visit other, groups and things like that not necessarily center around the gay community. Gay people can be a bit catty, and I see that in the groups sometimes that I, attend. People are talking and whispering during people's, sharing moments, and it's just a lot of cattiness, and people that know the gay community know that, especially when it comes to queens, they throw shade and do all that dumb shit. I'm too grown for that. I don't have, I try not to focus my mind or put my mind in a 3D conscious level now that I have entered into 5D. And that's another thing that, my people, we need to talk. I stopped eating meat, due to spiritual reasons. Oh my God, there's just a lot of things that I have undergone since, my hiatus away from, my platform here. Another reason why I am, creating an episode letting you guys know what's, going on in my life is because every time I go live and try to explain shit to you all, people interrupt me and come in. I try not to ignore anyone that comes into my live, streams or whatever the case may be. But I am taking my platforms a lot more seriously now because I see where the money is at. I'm not trying to play. And, I don't mind coming on Podbean, talking to people, helping them out with their issues and whatever else. But a lot of people on Podbean are about bullshit, and they are bouncing back and forth to different people's live streams to see who's, who got it chasing clout, basically. And, whoever got it going on, that's where they sit and whatever else the case may be, hoping that, this was all explained to me by somebody else here on Podbean, how it works. And, I don't want to waste my time. You know what I'm saying? The other platform that I am a part of, I'm getting paid. And this platform is only $6 a motherfucking month compared to this $14 that I'm paying for in regard to Podbean. Now, I'm not trying to down Podbean. This is where it all started for me in regard to podcasting, this platform right here. But this platform is going to take a long time to generate some motherfucking money. Do y'all know how many people have reached out to me on this other platform in regard to interviews, and I'm still getting hits in regard to people that want to interview with me? And I'm to the point now where I'm so serious about this. I have a medium-sized backyard, and I was going to convert that into, I'm not sure if I told you guys, but I had a roommate for a while, sometime, last year. And, I guess they're still together. I don't know. I don't talk to them anymore, but they had a mate that, knew about tortoises and, how to build the enclosure and things of that particular nature. So I was going to have a tortoise enclosure built and whatever else the case may be. And I'm still not opposed to that idea, but I'm just going to put that on the back burner. I'm getting so many different ideas I was getting ideas from Pinterest until they, deactivated my account fuck them. But anyway, I'm just getting different ideas from YouTube and all these other different, platforms, seeing how people are setting up their podcasting, platforms. Some people are doing it in their garages. Some people are doing it in their living rooms. Some people are doing it here. Some people are doing it there. And I've been at this for a while now. And I will say, in regard to my YouTube platforms and stuff like that, it's pretty bland. I don't have a backdrop. I don't have any of that. So I'm about to step up my game. But back to the backyard, I'm going to convert that into my podcasting, playground, where I can have interviews of live and, live in person and, live streaming, like I normally do here on Podbean, virtual. That's what I meant. So I want to be able to do in-person, interviews and virtual, interviews. And I have a nice enough space in the backyard to where I can make this happen. The good thing is, and this is what I mean by the universe bringing forth individuals that I can benefit from now that I am, in alignment with her. My landlord came by about a couple of days ago, and this building once again is up, to be sold. And, some people came by, to take a look at it. And, of course the landlord came with them. They didn't take pictures this time. They just walked through and, took a look. And anyway, they had the landlord, had the landscaper come out. Excuse me. Let me slow down. The landlord had the, landscapers come out to make sure that, the property was, up to par, for viewing. Anyway, I talked to the landlord about their landscaping personnel, and I got their information because I'm just like, look, I can benefit from this. If the landscapers don't charge too much, I can, find or come up with the ideal or, look online or do whatever, I could, there's ideas out there all over the world in regard to backyard, decor and stuff like that. And, I want to have like a little nice waterfall in the backyard. I can get that from Amazon. I just have a lot of ideas in regard to how I want my backyard to look for my podcasting and stuff like that, and or the not for meditation and all that. I want to get a little tiny house, but I know that may be too expensive, but either way it goes, I have some huge plans moving forward. I'm also in the works of creating merch for you guys. And that, I'm going to start out small. I haven't got a chance to go to this t-shirt company that I'm looking into that, will be able to make what I'm looking for in regard to print, design, and whatever else the case may be. I don't want to say too much because, people will steal your ideas, but I have a good friend that's into fashion, and surprisingly, I got that friend into fashion. I'm not sure if you guys know of a show back in the days called House of Style by it was hosted by Etta Clinch or something like that. But anyway, I told my friend about this particular show, or either sent it to him. Either way it goes, you guys, I introduced my friend to this particular show, and my friend just instantly fell in love with it. It had to do with fashion and models, and my friend is all about it. Anyway, my friend is a damn good artist and a damn good sewer and very good at their craft. So I pitched him an idea in regard to what I want to do moving forward regarding t-shirts and what I want to have on it. And, they critiqued me, and I took it, because if I'm going to be in that particular business or that particular field, I have to be able to have a tough enough skin to take criticism, because I don't want to introduce something to you guys that everybody else has. Of course, I'm going to start off small in regard to, cut and whatever else the case may be in regard to t-shirts, because that's what I'm going to start off with, t-shirts. And it all depends on what this store has. They foreshadowed to me that they have hats and all type of shit. It's just a matter of me going to this particular store here in the Valley, taking a look at, fabric, touching things and whatever else, and going from there. And I think that this will pop. I have so many good ideas in my brain, and I'm going to run with them. I'm not letting any grass grow underneath my motherfucking feet like I did back in my past. And now that I am methamphetamine free, I am truly on my grind in regard to reaching my abundance and living my true spiritual life and fulfilling my spiritual goals. This is another reason why I say I don't have time to bullshit here on Podbean. I don't mind going live, and talking with people and stuff like that. But, Podbean is not, I need money. You know what I'm saying? I have bills to pay and whatever else the case may be. And I don't want to just be putting my voice out there just to be putting my voice out there and, how can I say it? Not getting anything, not that I need anything, because I'm rich, within, I'm fulfilled. I don't need money, or what I do need money, but, my riches don't really come from money. My riches come from a whole different fulfillment, if you guys get what I'm saying. The money is just an extra, but source always keeps me fulfilled and rich, within. So, it gets no richer than that. But, I just don't have time to bullshit. I don't want to waste my time talking with people here on Podbean. I'm sorry if people are listening to me and be like, damn, this bitch is cold. The more that I step into my true identity, my power, who I'm supposed to be, a lot of people are going to be offended by some of the things that come out of my mouth. And I really don't care, because I have to be firm in the person that I'm becoming. And I just don't want to waste my time on meaningless conversations with people. I wasted enough of my motherfucking time before I got into methamphetamine, and I damn sure wasted enough of my time while in the motherfucking matrix abusing methamphetamine. And I only have a little bit of time to get this right. I'm 48 years old. I will be 49 this year. And if Source grants it, hopefully I will be around until 70 or 80 or whatever, where I can, have all of these major things accomplished that Source wants me to accomplish and that I want to accomplish. And hopefully I will be able to live long enough to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And, people are dying younger all the time. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I know he's preserving me for his greater purposes. I know I'm going to be here for a while, but I just want to be here. I don't know. I just want to do what I'm spiritually contracted to do for as long as I can do it. But yeah, but anyway, like I was saying, another reason why I wasn't active on the platform here on Podbean is because I had a week of training at my new place of employment, which is One Step Beyond Inc. And as I, said in a hidden gem, they're hiring in all of the Arizona campuses, and they are also hiring in all of the I don't know how many campuses California has, but I know that in 2 areas of California, they're hiring at their campuses. And before I continue on with anything else, I also want to say that I am seriously thinking about taking speech courses. English was one of my majors back in school. I was really good at placing words, and the devil stripped a lot of us in regard to abilities while we were under his influence of methamphetamine. And he stole my voice on a couple of occasions. I remember, getting high with people and people would talk about me and some everything else, racial shit and whatever. And I did not have a voice to defend myself or my people. I just didn't have that voice. And, now that I have it, I just want to use it for the better. Anyway, oh man, it's just, oh my God, there's just so much, you guys. And I lost my track there. Y'all know me and my ADHD, but I just have so much that I want to talk to you guys about. What was I going to say? Anyway, back to One Step Beyond Inc. Now, I had a week of training in regard to, this particular company. And, this week of training did a lot to not only myself, but it did a lot to quite a few people in the class, including the person that was training us. They went deep, and I learned a lot, and I have a better appreciation for the people that I have been. I'm sorry, you guys. Hold on one second. I do apologize. That's my Russian friend. Damn. Okay. I'm sorry. That was my Russian friend. And I'm in the middle of recording right now. So, I can't, that's another thing. Another reason why I haven't been active on the platform. Do you guys know how many motherfucking people I have in my life that I don't want to say depend on me, but oh my God, it can be energy draining sometimes. And, sometimes I just don't have the energy to put out. And, right now I just don't have that energy. No disrespect towards my Russian friend. I enjoyed speaking with them, but I just don't have the energy to put out right now. Anyway, back to One Step Beyond Inc. So anyway, my job centers around being there for individuals that have intellectual challenges and special needs, and the history of some of those facilities that special needs people had to be put in years ago. Oh my God. It was so heart touching. A lot of those children and adults were lying in their feces and urine. A lot of them were chained to the floor. Some of them were beaten. Some of them were sexually assaulted. Some of them died. Some of the workers had maybe 30 members to deal with at a time. It was just them. And because of this, each member only had a 2-minute feeding period. And if you think about it, who eats their meal within a 2-minute time frame? You have to have time to put the fucking food in your mouth, chew it, swallow it, and whatever else the case may be. And it was just that it was that bad. Then I heard of another story in regard to a woman who was incapacitated. I think that's the word. Basically, she couldn't do anything for herself, and she was put into an institution, all female institution. Come to find out, this woman ended up pregnant. How the fuck does a incapacitated, I do believe that's the word, woman that can't fend for herself to save her life come up pregnant in a all female institution? Something had to happen. And look, check this out. They didn't know that the woman was pregnant until they went in to change her dressing, because like I said, she couldn't do anything for herself. So they had to, change her. And when the person went to change her, they seen a face looking up at them, a baby. And it just shocked the person, and it shocked everybody, that the woman was even pregnant. And then another thing that I learned in training, which totally disgusts me, because I thought different of the Kennedy family. Come to find out, they had a daughter by the name of Rosemary who was special needs. And the shit that they did to Rosemary, I have no respect for the Kennedys. They sent that girl off to different schools throughout the world, because she was an embarrassment, just to keep it real. She was a disgrace to the Kennedy name, and to keep them looking good, they shipped her off to different schools. And, I forgot what Rosemary had, but, either way it goes, they pretty much disowned her. And come to find out, Rosemary going to all of those different schools, she was actually learning, and she was benefiting, from, going to those different schools. And, it wasn't until she tripped in front of the Queen, when the Queen was alive, that they put her through, I forgot the name of what it is called, but every time Rosemary spoke, they scraped her forehead with something. And I guess this was a painful procedure. I even heard that they put her through electric shock or something like that. But anyway, I guess they did this to Rosemary to the point where she stopped speaking altogether, with that scraping of the forehead every time she spoke, and it was painful. And I mean, eventually she just stopped, talking altogether. And, later down the road, she ended up dying, I guess, in the institution. And the Kennedys really didn't have no way out of it. They had to speak, considering this was their own that had died in a facility, that was special needs. And, another thing that just disgustes me, one of the Kennedy brothers, I guess they were out of the country, if I'm not mistaken. They wrote a letter and mailed it, back here in the States, saying that this particular country is executing retarded. That's the word that he used. Retarded people. Maybe we should do that in the States. That just really I have no love for them, considering, what they did to that girl, and, that letter that was written, and you have a sibling that has special needs, and you still have the audacity, the chutzpah, to write such a letter against people that have special needs. And come to find out, Aretha Franklin I guess he's still alive, has a son that is special needs. Now, from what I've heard, Aretha had this child young, 13. Now, that meant Aretha was fucking and doing all type of shit at a early age in the music industry. And if we are awake and know about the music industry like I know about it, I don't know about it to the fullest, but I mean, come on now. The P. Diddy case, that lets you know right there what the music industry is all about. Shit, follow his motherfucking court case. Shit, that lets you already know rituals, sex rituals, all type of shit goes on out there in Hollywood. So anyway, I can just imagine. Yeah, oh my goodness. But damn. Here I go with this ADHD getting off track. I'm sorry, you guys. Wait. I know I was talking about, training and the institution and, where was I at? I'm sorry, you guys. I should have wrote down some notes, but I wanted to really reach out to you all and, just get it over and done with and let you all know what has been going on. Oh, Aretha Franklin in the music industry. So we already know that females in particular, and probably little boys, I'm sure little girls get tossed around too, but we already know that it goes down in the music industry. Motherfuckers are getting tossed here and there. People are getting gang banged. Some of every motherfucking, you heard what they did. You heard what they said P. Diddy did to Cassie. I guess they had an orgy and they had a whole bunch of men, nut on her and they rubbed the semen baby. They do the most in Hollywood. But anyway, I have a feeling that Aretha was passed around in the music industry because look, well, let's keep it real. Aretha had quite a few hits and she been in that motherfucking music industry for a grip until, she pretty much, lost her life. And, who knows what she did to remain in the motherfucking music industry. Fucking in the back of them pink Cadillacs. Sorry, Aretha, but, yeah, girl, I mean, you was in that music industry for a long motherfucking time. So I'm not, but anyway, she ended up pregnant. Her child ended up being special needs. And I hear that he's in an institution. Now, I'm not sure if Aretha put him in the institution while she was young, popular Aretha touring and doing this and doing that and, whatever. Or is she put him in the institution after she couldn't take care of her own self? I would probably have a little bit more respect for the situation knowing that she put him in the institution after she tried taking care of him and couldn't take care of her own stuff. Y'all know what I'm saying. But, I don't know. Who else? I heard that Lincoln had a daughter or a son that was special needs. And I heard that Nixon, if I'm not mistaken, wore braces on his, legs because, I forgot what he had, but it caused him to walk funny. So, in the media or whatever, they would have people stand real close to him, to make it seem like, he could, like he was normal when he had a disability. Baby, when I tell you that this particular, teacher that taught us about Article 9 is real good. I think everybody should learn about Article 9, not just individuals, not just parents of individuals with special needs, but everybody. Article 9, if I am not mistaken, centers around how the protection of elderly and special needs people came about. I believe it was a woman by the name of Mimi and her husband who had a special needs daughter. And they tried to find organizations throughout this girl's life for her to go to that had people just like her. And because there was such a huge stigma centered around people with, disabilities and special needs, they just couldn't find an organization. Now, these people come from money, and I believe the city offered them a grant after they found how did it go? I believe the city offered them a grant after they found some property or whatever to start up their own organization centered around helping people with, disabilities. And that's what this woman did. And I forgot the name of the organization, but they named it after their daughter, and I can't think of their daughter's name. And from there, this is where organizations like One Step Beyond Inc. and, other organizations that, are there for individuals with intellectual challenges and disabilities and stuff like that, come in. And when I tell you that I'm working amongst some prominent motherfuckers here in the Arizona area, bitch, I am working amongst some prominent people. Now, one of the individuals that's a part of One Step Beyond Inc., and I'm not going to tell y'all which campus I'm at, they have a sports background. And as you all know, sports are major when it comes to helping or sponsoring individuals with disabilities. You got the what is it called? Special Olympics. You got celebrities that have celebrity sports people that have individuals and their families that have special needs and disabilities that have stepped up to the plate, and they donate to places where I work. And One Step Beyond Inc. is nonprofit, so they go by donations and whatever the case may be. But when I tell you that I am working amongst some of the happiest people in the world, regardless of what challenges they may face, I was literally bawling in some of those courses, during training. I'm telling y'all, this particular job and that training has changed my life. Learning about Article 9, how these individuals were treated back in the days just because they had disabilities, and it's messed up. And just imagine all of the individuals that have intellectual challenges that are homeless, and we talked about that. The only thing, we talked about it because I brought it up. I mentioned the fact that I'm a peer support specialist, and I was homeless here in Arizona. I was homeless at Cass Homeless Shelter, and the person that trained us, they preach and go to Cass Homeless Shelter and whatever else the case may be. I guess help people out down, help people there, get up on their feet. Anyway, I just know that, once again, here we go with ADHD. I'm sorry, you guys. I know, where was I at? Cass Homeless Shelter. The teacher. Damn. And this is another reason. I know, I'm sorry, you guys. I know that I need to take notes for real because I'm so ADHD. And what I try to do is train my brain to remember as much as it possibly can without ADHD affecting it. But obviously, I can't do it. And I will admit, I need to write things down or whatever else the case may be because my ADHD is just that damn bad. But anyway, damn, I forgot where I was going, and I do apologize, you guys, but I just learned some very wonderful things, in that particular class. Oh, that's where I was going. People having intellectual challenges that are homeless or whatever. Anyway, One Step Beyond Inc., they want to merge towards that way. And the fact that I brought up, oh my God, there's so much that I want to tell you guys. Anyway, they want to merge that way, but they don't have the capacity to do that. They only have the capacity to deal with what they can for right now. And that's dealing with people that have intellectual challenges that aren't on a severe level. The ones that aren't biting and kicking and doing all that stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. These members will bite your ass and cuss you out until you don't touch them and some of everything else. But they're not, their severity level isn't that high. But I kind of pitched the idea, but I don't think that Jeff heard the full voicemail, because he left me a voicemail. It's a long story, you guys. But anyway, Jeff, I think, played for the Arizona Diamondbacks back in his days. And he also was a sportscaster, if I'm not mistaken, very prominent in the sports field. Anyway, these members, bitch, they come for money. Today, I'm shadowing. I've been shadowing for the past 3 days now. I will be driving on my own, I think, the next time that I go to work. But anyway, I shadowed today and we took some members home. These motherfuckers come from money. Okay. Some of them have lawyers as fathers and mothers. Some of them, money, bitch, living in the mountains. Houses are built within the mountains type money. I'm telling you, some of these, members, are Disney princesses. And from what I heard, you have to go through a lot in order to be a Disney princess. I hate to say it, but a special needs Disney princess, because you have to be a certain height, a certain, body weight, all type of stuff in order to fulfill Disney's goal in regard to what they're looking for. Some of them are musicians, some of them are artists, some of their art is delivered from here to some of the prominent art galleries in the California area, San Francisco, and all type of shit. So just because they have special needs or whatever, don't mean that they are stupid. Anybody can learn any motherfucking thing if they put their mind to it. And that word stupid just really gets on my nerves. It aggravates me. But I'm going to come up with this company. I'm not going to tell too much, but I was at work today and I walked in on a conversation with one of the people that has a prominent role with One Step Beyond Inc. And, some of these people in regard to the parents of some of these special needs individuals, if you build a good relationship with the members, they will want you to work with them one-on-one. And that's where the real money comes in at. I'm not telling too much because I'm not going to blow my motherfucking blessings, honey. But that's where that real money comes at. And not that it's about the money. You're there for the members, but I'm telling you, I am working and I'm working with some money, and this is where I'm at in my life, you guys. And like I said, I'm not trying to be rude in regard to like my people here on Podbean that, coming in my live streams and stuff like that. And, want to hear what I'm talking about, and it may appease to them or it may not, but I'm tired of that game. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of appeasing to, how can I say it? I'm just tired of wasting my time and dealing with meaningless conversations and people that are just doing stupid ass shit. Some people are relapsing just to be relapsing and doing just goofy ass shit. And when you hear their stories, it's just like, damn, I can be on this other platform where I'm making money if I book an interview and have it from beginning to the end. And this is business. And this is where I'm at. I'm on a business tip right now. I'm trying to get merch out there for my followers and whatever the case may be. And, I'm trying to, get my platform on started in regard to that. I just don't have time to bullshit. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I'm working with money in regard to One Step Beyond Inc. And I'm working around people that inspire me and aspire me to hustle and make it happen for myself. I recall when I was at Recovia and we had a group session and we were doing visionary boards. And if you guys don't know what a visionary board is, basically is where you take clippings out of a magazine and you paste them on, a nice colored backdrop. And basically within a couple of years or so, you are supposed to fulfill, some of those goals that, you have envisioned on that board. Anyway, I cut a couple of pages out of maybe 2 or 3 magazines and my visionary board was over. And, some of everybody else in the, said some of everybody else that was in that group session, they were grabbing 3 and 5 and 6 magazines and whatever the case may be and cutting this and cutting that and shit. My shit was completed after, like I said. Anyway, there is a clipping that I have on my visionary board with a guy standing in front of a classroom teaching, and it was asked by the person teaching that particular course or whatever, how long do we think it'll take for us to accomplish some of those goals that are on our visionary board? And I said it would take about maybe 4 or 5 years. I'm already in a leading or a leadership position considering my new job. We, or most of us, considering, what position we are, I'm LSA, life skills advocate, or life skills something. But anyway, I'm in a position where I am a leader to these individuals that need this assistance. And I'm in the position where I have to teach them life skills and things of that particular nature. And, it's a wonderful thing. I'm so happy to be chosen for this role. I still am going to work towards being a peer support specialist, but right now Source wants me to do this because these people need my help probably a little bit more. But I love it. And some people may, especially people that know me, may look at this like, this bitch, used to smoke meth and be out there sucking dick and doing this. How they gonna be in a leadership role? Bitch, because I am. Because I was chosen to be in this leadership role. And let me tell you, there is someone that works with me that's seen my glow. And they told me today, you just have something about you. You were meant to be here. You have this glow about yourself and blah, blah, blah. And, you just have this aura. And it makes me feel good that people see me for who I really am. And for so long, Satan he not only had me blind, but he has a lot of you guys out there blind in regard to, how can I say it? Who you truly are. Now that I know what these markings on my palms truly mean, and now that I know what these letter M's on my palm truly mean, and now that I know what it means when I put my palms together and I see that motherfucking half crescent moon, bitch, there is nothing Satan or another motherfucker in this world can tell me about myself ever a motherfucking again, and I will never let a motherfucker tell me anything about D Venom ever again because I know who I truly am. I had narcissists in my life telling me who I was, and I would believe it. And I would go for the okie doke. Oh, well, maybe I am like this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I grew up with with narcissistic individuals in my life, people telling me who I am, manipulating my mind and whatever else the case may be. And now that the veil has been lifted and now that I'm standing in true divine power, and now that no one will ever tell D Venom again who D Venom is because I know now. I think I've already told you guys that I'm going to be taking, or I'm looking into taking free speech courses and things like that to better improve my diction. I don't like it. ADHD definitely plays a huge role in regard to word placement and stuff like that. So I'm going to get this together because I want my platforms to be professional. And I guess this is what I'm trying to say in a nutshell here in regard to my Podbean platform. I don't want to come on here bullshitting like a lot of people do here on Podbean. I want my platforms to be professional, where I am helping people like Miss Mo, where we're helping individuals get out of their addiction relapse phase and into their recovery phase, where magic can happen for them as well. We can spend time all day long just talking to people and lollygagging the shit for free, helping them with their, issues and blah, blah, blah. But there are individuals out there that are willing to pay, I'm not going to keep on saying it. I'm getting paid, and that's just the bottom line. So I am in abundance, and I'm drug free. Past 60 something days now. I'm working. I still attend my groups. I have one tonight, but I'm not. Charlie ain't talking about shit. I'm sorry. I'm not going to group tonight. I will see them some other time. I'm spending time with D, and I'm doing what D wants to do tonight, and that's work on my social media platforms, wash laundry, exercise, and get a peace of mind. That's what the fuck I'm doing tonight. But you guys, y'all can do this. I came from sniffing that motherfucking methamphetamine outside of the Las Vegas lounge as a transsexual motherfucking woman to getting arrested January 18, 2024. After getting off of a third shift job at Desert Diamond Casino, picking up roadside assistance dick and getting high, to now working and being there for people and their families. Just imagine the families of these individuals that have special needs and intellectual disabilities. They have them more than what we do. So the challenges that they have to go through, these people are relieved that, their loved ones have a place to go. And the people that work for these individuals. They're loving. And, it's just, I love my job. I love it. The members are starting to get to know me, and I'm going to build some really good, promising relationships with the people that I have been chosen to be there for. And, so I'm on my way. I'm on my way to success and abundance and a career. And, I'm not looking back. I'm not looking back. There's no need to. I see people that are still wrapped up in the dope world, and especially the scallywags that I used to pick up. And I'm like, bitch, this is what the fuck you wanted? This? And don't get me wrong, some of the scallywags that I picked up, even though they was dirty half the time, they still had looks to them. But I really lowered my standards beyond, oh my God, because I'm high and making irrational decisions for myself, thinking that this is good for me. Anyway, the eating meat. I have been watching Chosen One videos courtesy of YouTube. You guys know this. I was watching a few Chosen One videos, and it led me into the Crescent Moon and letter M videos. And I was watching a video in regard to what people that frequent on my level should be putting in our bodies. And it resonated with me 100%. So much of what I've been going through is not associated with this realm. It is all associated with the spiritual realm. I don't know about you motherfuckers, but I know I am spirit wrapped in matter, living a earthly experience. And I will say this, I will say it again. I am spirit wrapped in matter, living a earthly experience. I don't belong to this world and never have. I've just been sent back here because I'm spiritually contracted to spread my light and make better. That's what I'm spiritually contracted to do, and fulfill my spiritual obligations, my spiritual path, all that. That's what I'm meant to do. And I now know this. And eating meat was blocking and fogging my spiritual channels. And this is why I wasn't receiving the messages from source and the ancestors and my spiritual guides, because I was putting in my body meat that comes from tortured and stressed out animals, and those hormones are released into that meat. And here I am putting it in my body. And I was watching shock videos courtesy of Instagram, and there was a pig that was basically to be slaughtered and killed in the meat packing industry, a meat killing industry, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And the person that was filming this, they need their ass beat for filming, that shit in the first place and, uploading it for the world to see. But anyway, you can tell that pig was tortured, because I am an animal fanatic. I watch animal shows, Mutual of Omaha. I do believe that's a show. I grew up watching that damn show. Okay. And I volunteered at the zoo for nearly a year. I've never seen a pig with eyes bucking out of their head the way that I've seen this pig's eyes. I thought it was fake, because that pig's eyes were that damn big. They must have tortured that motherfucking pig and did some of everything else to that pig before it was finally up to be slaughtered and killed. And I remember I went to the food pantry maybe a couple of days or so before watching that particular shock video courtesy of Instagram. And I scored 6 thin pork chops, and I used to fuck them motherfuckers up back in my days. I remember cooking them, seasoning them. I can't even get it out right. There we go. Seasoning them just right. And I remember taking one of them, and I bit into it, and I'm chewing. And I'm thinking about that pig, and shit just started getting nasty to me. So I put the remaining piece of pork chop, with the other 5 that was, in on the tray, and I put it in the refrigerator, put them in the refrigerator. And along the way, I would take little bites here and there of the pork chop that I had already bitten off of. And I would think about that pig, and I would just feel some type of way. It's hard to explain. It's more of a spiritual thing. I just didn't feel right. And I felt fatigue. I felt sick at times. There was just a lot of things that I was going through, mind, body, and spirit, after eating meat. And I remember opening the refrigerator, taking that, tray of pork chops, and I just threw that shit in the garbage. And I know it's a waste of food. I understand. Somebody else could have ate that, but I was just so grossed out. I just threw it away. About a week or so later, if I'm not mistaken, I made chicken breast to go with my rice or whatever the fuck I made. And I remember eating the chicken, and I think I ate a whole breast without any problems. And then I tried to eat another breast a couple of days later and nearly got sick off that shit. And I ended up throwing that away. There's still a breast in the refrigerator, but I'm not going to eat it. I made my own breadcrumbs and everything. I breaded that chicken just right, okay? And I couldn't eat it. Eventually, I got rid of all meat except for some fish that I kept, which I probably won't eat. I got rid of all that shit. Thank God I am employed with One Step Beyond Inc. Even if I wasn't employed with them, I was going to take that meat to one of my 12-step meetings and see if, one of my brothers or sisters wanted it there. But luckily, everything that I had, even sugary items, I'm cutting back on that too. I had brownie mix and all type of shit. I bagged all that shit up and took it to one of my training sessions. But before I did that, I called the instructor, because she gave the class, her phone number. I called them to see if they wanted the meat, and, they was going to take it, but I guess they knew someone that needed it more. And when I went to, training that day, I brought all that stuff inside, and come to find out someone could really, really use it. I guess that's employed at One Step Beyond Inc. And, the person came and, they got the items, and they came and shook my hand and was like, thank you so much. And it just made me feel good that I was able to give, because I wasn't going to throw all that meat away. I was going to do something with it. It was going to somebody's freezer. And thank God, the person that needed it. And, I fed whoever I fed, and I'm happy about that. So yes, D Venom no longer eats meat. Now, will I be a full vegan? I think I will be 80% vegan. To be honest with you, my blood type is A positive, and I'm supposed to be eating more veggies, more fruit, and things of that particular nature. And I tell people I no longer eat meat, and I don't know. Is it a curse to say I no longer eat meat? Because people are like, well, how are you going to get your protein? Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, bitch, don't worry about that. I will be fine. I mean, I think about gorillas and monkeys and stuff, and they rarely eat meat. They eat more berries and nuts and things of that particular nature. And they are some of the strongest motherfucking animals in the world. And they're close to us. And you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if I eat enough natural stuff that's not associated with meat, I will get the protein that I need. I don't necessarily have to put dead animals in my motherfucking, but the flesh of dead animals in my motherfucking body in order to get that certain something that we get from meat. And then I was speaking, no disrespect to Muslims. I was speaking with, to someone that's Muslim, and I was telling them that I no longer eat meat. And they were trying to convince me that the Muslim way is a better practice in regard to sacrificing the animal. They don't stress the animal. They don't do this. They don't do that. I guess the animal has free will or whatever the case may be until it's pretty much killed and whatever. And I guess because they don't stress the animal, they treat the animal well or whatever before they kill it. All of those stress hormones and whatever else that the animal releases into the meat, if it were scared and tortured, that doesn't happen. You know, I guess they quickly sacrifice the animal, and that's that. You know, the animal doesn't even know what's about to happen. So I guess the meat is just, you know, that much better to eat, because when I tell y'all I'm sitting there listening to this shit, like, you must be, if I stop eating meat in general, then what makes you think that you telling me this is going to be like, oh, well, shit, bitch, take me to a motherfucker, not bitch, but, you know, take me to some, pour this motherfucking non-stress meat down my damn throat, I'm going to love it type scenario. No, I don't want any form of meat going down my motherfucking throat, stressed or not. And I just couldn't believe that they were telling me this story. And I'm just like, you know, this does not make me feel better about eating meat. You know, I don't want meat in my system at all. Anyway, and the funny thing is, now that I stopped eating meat, and now that I'm leveling up in regard to my spirituality, and now that I know I frequent on a whole different level than a great majority of you motherfucking human beings. And now that I know that these letter M's on my palms are activated and this crescent moon is activated, and oh my God, I'm just a beautiful person that needs to take care of myself a lot better than what I have been. And I don't want my spiritual channels blocked. I want to hear every message that source in the spiritual realm has to say to me. So if that means cutting out meat and processed foods and grains that aren't from our ancient times, so be it. You know what I'm saying? I want to take it back to the days where my body was pure, and I ruined it for so long with methamphetamine. I want to make things right, and I want to do right by my body, by my body. And, you know, cutting out meat is just one way that I'm doing that. And when I cut into fruit and veggies, I made veggie stir fry a couple of days ago, and I'm cutting those veggies, and I'm just appreciating that this is something that the universe has produced for not only myself, but for you motherfuckers as well, as nourishment, to get us through. And, it's natural. And when I bite into those veggies and those fruits, I just have a better appreciation for them than, you know, versus when I was eating fast food and, you know, all of that pre-processed bullshit. You know, I just have a whole different frame of thought in regard to a lot of different things, you guys. But anyway, I have kept you guys for long enough. I'm going to end this, but I wanted y'all to know where I am at in life, and you guys can be there too. Stop suffering in silence in regard to your addictions. Get the help that you need. For one, surrender your battle to the spiritual realm. And right there, you know, once you do that, you will see that magic begin. And, you know, I did it for myself, and now I'm working. I'm not picking up scallywags. I'm not twisting methamphetamine pipes. I'm not doing anything like that. And D Venom is one happy ass motherfucker. I could tell you that. Anyway, with that being said, you guys have a good one, my people of addiction, relapse, and recovery. And feel free to follow on Facebook. I'm creating a couple of groups for my people of addiction, relapse, and recovery. And I have a couple of plans moving forward. But anyway, with that being said, I am D Venom. Happy sober living. Out.